Welcome to the OVA vlog. Today we have two special guests. We have Alex Weststeinman and her 12-week-old daughter Zoe, who's actually asleep right now. So Alex just had Zoe 12 weeks ago and is about to transition back to work from being on maternity leave. And so we're talking today about transitions. She also has a blog called Strong Like Mama that she started after returning back to work after her first child, Cooper, who's now 2. So we're going to talk a little bit about transitions today. Welcome, Alex. Thanks for being on the OVA vlog.
Thanks for having me.
So you're about to transition back to work from maternity leave for the second time. When you think back to the first time, are there things that you're going to do differently, or are there kind of suggestions you have for other moms who might be doing this for the first time?
Sure. I think, this time I'll go in with a lot less expectations of how I am going to feel after going back to work. I think there's a lot of, pressure to like jump back in to at 100%, but there's also pressure to just ease back into it. So I think on both ends of the spectrum, there's a lot of guilt associated with motherhood in general. So I think going in just knowing that it's going to be whatever it's going to be, and like allowing yourself to experience those emotions and feel them and kind of work through them as you go, instead of like going in saying I'm going to be 100% in the office, or I'm going to take 50-50 at home. I don't think you know what it's going to be like until you start to go through it.
Okay.
So hopefully you can have those open dialogues with your coworkers and with your boss, and kind of help yourself transition back into it, because it's a lot physically and emotionally to go back to work full time.
Yeah. So in thinking about some of those conversations you've had with colleagues or just people at work, are there ways that colleagues or work environments can just be more supportive during that transition time?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing moms are looking for is like an ear, like just somebody to listen to them, because we all just want somebody to tell us that we're doing a good job, because it's a really hard thing, and being a working mom. And so I think the more that you can just ask those open-ended questions, like how are you feeling, and do you need anything, those are good questions to ask, as opposed to very pointed questions about a personal situation, like do you think you're going to go back to work soon? That's really difficult to answer. And it's really personal, and I think there's a lot of guilt associated with both ways that you could answer that question. So just being there for them. I think the other thing is if you can really just do something for them, as opposed to asking what can I do. I think
just make the meal.
Just make the meal, or go clean up their office for them, or whatever, instead of asking when can I do this for you, because I think that adds another element of planning onto the mom, and they barely have time to say thank you, and so just don't expect a thank you. I think I certainly am really behind on my thank you, so thank you everybody who's helped for the last 3 months, but I think going in with an expectation of just no expectation would be
going with no expectation.
Exactly. That's probably the best advice I can give coworkers.
Okay. So you started Strong Like Mom in the blog during that transition period back to work with your first child. So can you tell us a little bit about Strong Like Mama, and just kind of who you're writing for, and what readers can expect on the blog?
Sure. She's awake. So with my first, I didn't know what to expect going into it, and I didn't feel like there was a place where anybody was really talking about returning to work and what that's like, and how difficult it is. Yeah, it's a difficult time, and I didn't think there was really anything out there that was for us. So I just started writing about my experiences, and it really resonated with a lot of other moms and working moms who were like, yes, this is how I feel, and nobody's talking about it right now. So that's kind of how that launched.
And it's pretty raw. It's not listicles or clickbaity. It's a very raw blog.
Yeah, it features everything from my emotional experiences going through postpartum, and also my kid crapping the tub and crapping the crib and all sorts of crap. So a lot of poop
stories.
A lot of poop, but it is kind of just about the hilarity and sometimes terribleness of being a working mom.
And you also recently launched the Strong Like Mama apparel.
Yeah. Zoe's wearing a Smart Like Mama shirt. So I started apparel because there's not a lot of mom positive messages out there on t-shirts and clothing for kids. You see a lot of like strong like dad and brave like dad and tough like my dad, but there's nothing out there that says anything like brilliant about mom other than like I'm mommy's little cutie and so I created my own and launched this summer and the shirts kind of took off. So they're really for like a nice reminder for moms when they look at their little babes like that they really are smart and brave and strong. And those are the three shirts that I have right now out on the blog.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have a link to Alex's blog and a link to the t-shirts because they're awesome.
Great.
Above. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.